everybody, it's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman. And I was kind of baited into this book rant by a good friend of mine who wanted to know my opinion and said, I'm surprised you didn't make a video. So Angus, this one's for you. What do I think about Ben Affleck playing the new Batman in the new Superman movie? Me personally, I really don't give a fuck. I didn't want to see the first one. I saw it. It sucked ass. It's shit. Zack Snyder should be shot. That's another story altogether. I don't like Zack Snyder's, fourth, fifth attempt to remake 300, and I certainly wouldn't like the sequel. I know that there are a lot of people out there that loved watching Superman, or whatever he was, and all of his 10 to 12 Kryptonian buddies leveling everything in sight, but to me, as somebody that's a fan of comic books that wants to see comic book movies, I could not get into that movie. I'm not going to get any further than that. But the issue, there are two issues actually, that I have with Ben Affleck playing the new Batman in the new Superman movie. The first issue is, to me, Ben Affleck is the guy that was hanging with good Mike Hunting in Best in, whatever. He's a wisecracking angel in Dogma. To me, okay, he did a decent job as George Reeve in Hollywoodland, although that movie was owned by Diane Lane, that's all I'm saying. And of course, Bob Hoskins is just great. Eddie Valley, just in case you're keeping track of this stuff. But aside from that, Ben Affleck to me was never somebody I really cared about. For him to have two starring roles in two comic book movies with two rival comic book companies, I don't think that's ever been done before. That's unprecedented for one guy to play two comic book heroes in two separate movies in two separate times from two rival comic book companies. Daredevil and now Batman. I mean, whose dicks he's sucking on that he could do that? Who is Ben Affleck? Like him and his ex-wife J-Lo. Why can't you just go away? I don't understand. Like Brad Pitt, why can't these people just disappear? Just go. I don't want to see you anymore. You're old, and what have you done, really, for humanity? But here you go. He gets to be another superhero. But here's the second issue. After that farce known as Dark Knight Rises, where they took everything that made Batman great and shit on it, I wasn't really overly surprised. Now, the first half, I guess, was pretty goddamn good, but the second half I could have totally lived without. I'm not going to get too into those details either, but Talia al Ghul trying to kill him, and then him not caring that she died, having her get thrown in a movie like that, you can't do that. Selena Kyle was just his token orphan, whatever. She was not his main squeeze. Talia al Ghul had his fucking son. That's his main squeeze. And for you to just be like, hey, look, it's Talia al Ghul. Either don't have her at all or make her the main character, whatever. I'm not going to get into that, like I said. But it just seemed that the Nolans made Bruce Wayne into a really irresponsible douchebag when you think about it. Here he goes, he abandons Gotham, he abandons his home and says, Alfred, take care of the house. Then he comes back, he becomes Batman, and then it's Harvey Dent, you take over from here. Then he has all this money and he's got this company going, and Lucius Fox, you take over the company. It's like he's just throwing all this responsibility to everybody else when that's not what he would be about. And Alfred, using that bullshit Hollywood cop-out that I fucking hate more than anything, which is, I want to protect you, but I can't, so I'll abandon you. Yeah, that makes fucking sense. That is not what Alfred was. That was not what Bruce Wayne was. So they fucked those two characters up. But, on top of all that, considering that Batman in the Batman movies was trying so hard to pass the responsibility of being the main crime fighter in Gotham, which he never would have done, I thought he so-called retired, even though he let his company go to hell and he had no money, apparently, couldn't even keep his house. I thought he was living in Venice with Selena Kyle. So how's he going to come back? Are we talking about the other Batman who was Tommy from Third Rock? Is that who Ben Affleck's going to play? But I thought that he was Robin, remember? Because that was his real name. Not Dick Grayson, not Tim Drake. Robin was his real name, as the steam came flying out of my friggin' ears when I heard that one. But I thought he was taking over. So is that who Ben Affleck is playing? Or is it Christian Bale that he's playing? Which one's he playing? Because one's supposedly retired and the other one's supposedly Robin. So how are you going to write this storyline again? How are you going to put this one together? So what is this? Man of Steel meets Sucker Punch? Like, what are we going to see? Are we going to see the two of them yelling at each other every 5 minutes? Like, is that all the movie's going to be? Is them yelling? Because that's every Zack Snyder movie. Are they going to cry every 5 minutes? What is this movie going to be? But like I said, I really don't give a shit about Ben Affleck playing Batman. I wouldn't care if Michael Keaton came back as Batman. I wouldn't care if Kevin Conroy, the best Batman of all time, came back or came in as Batman. I wouldn't give a rat's ass if Al Pacino and Daniel Day-Lewis, hot? This boy has no heart, played Batman in this movie. I don't give a fuck. We have bigger problems here, people. And that is that in the new Spider-Man movie, which The Amazing Spider-Man was the only comic book movie in recent history that really got it right, I heard they're going to veer away from remaking it just like the comic book or close enough like they did the first one. That scares the balls out of me. And that's the biggest problem. Ben Affleck, you can play anybody you want. You can play Brainiac in this movie too. I could care less because I am not going to see the next Man of Steel, and I wish I never saw the first Man of Steel. Now that's my opinion. You can leave your comments, and I'm sure that the same friends in question that killed me my last review of Man of Steel will have their own little comments about this, but that's my comment about Ben Affleck as your new Batman. And thank you all for watching. I have more for you soon to come, so stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.